Hi everyone, this is Vic Benedict. We're playing Ghost Recon Future Soldier on the Elite difficulty setting, and this is the 9th chapter. It's entitled Valiant Hammer. So it's a beautiful level. It reminds me of Fall, reminds me of Maine, and those Tarkovsky films as well. If you've never seen Solaris by that director, it's a great movie, and I'm not talking about the George Clooney one. I'm talking about the original. Very good movie. Kind of a sad movie too. Very, very, very sad. And I'm sorry I had to use so many intensifiers in that sentence, but sometimes you just do. And not too many issues on this level. I enjoyed this level. It's a beautiful looking level, as I remarked before. So this particular sniper rifle, it kind of locks in onto the enemy. It doesn't auto-target them. But to be honest, I don't even know what that's for. See, you kill them in one shot anyway. Any hit on their body, no matter where it is, it's going to kill them. So I have no idea. It says target acquired. Maybe that gives you more points, more accuracy points. I don't know for sure. Probably never know. But I'm sure somebody does know and will say what it means. And we'll have our answer. What are we doing here? Oh yeah, I'm gonna switch to the Scorpion. And right here, when you're going on that wheel right there, I know it's not a precise wheel, but when you press the square button, you have to keep holding the left analog stick. The left analog stick is the last thing you have to release for it to register that you're actually swapping weapons. It's kind of ridiculous, but I guess they didn't program it in a way that would make sense, did they? But anyway, where are we now? We're going to take out a couple more targets. Got a save point right up ahead.
We're the ones doing the ambushing.
And I use the drone pretty well in this chapter. I mean, well, I use it quite a lot. That's what I'm trying to say. Whether I use it well is debatable, but probably I don't use it too well. And that's not exactly boosting my confidence in myself, but it's hard because it doesn't have much range. You'll get this white flash of the screen and not be able to see too well. So okay, so they saw me. The jig was up, and oh well. I'm just gonna keep pressing forward and taking out these guys. It's not like I kind of was thinking to myself when I was playing. It's not like if you get seen, it's like, I know this won't really relate too well, but like the Batman games, if you get detected in that game, they give the enemies have guns in that game, but you don't, and you have to do stealth sections a lot in that game. And if you get seen, you just get shot up so much. And it's kind of like The Last of Us too in that respect, because your enemies, they aggro to such a high level that when they start hitting you with their guns, or shooting you rather, you flinch to the point where you can kind of get stun locked and you can't even move. But it's not the case with this game. I mean, if it says engaged and the jig is up, so to speak, it's not the end of the world. In fact, it's no big deal. I mean, unless you don't want that to happen. But this really had to be sped up because for some reason we have to just squat up here and wait for a while at the observation point. And they don't even observe anything. They just kind of just squat here. So, I mean, we could see things with that camera accentuation right there over the rocks, but I don't know. It might be the mask loading. It really might be that. So this next part up ahead, it's going to suggest to you that you go on the riverbank and go through the water. I'm not sure what that meant right there. I guess I was going too fast with my teammates or something. But it is going to suggest that you go to the left, and I tried that, but the guy on the bank on the other side, he's staring directly at you and he never moves. So I've shot him several times with the suppressed weapon, and his body always gets discovered. So
As long as we get there.
I'm just going to go this way. I'm going to put the flying drone up, and I might cancel out of this, but I wanted first and foremost to see just who was where. And I know that guy. That guy's the guy I'm talking about. See, he's looking at you the whole time. So the number 2 target's pretty important because he's manning that turret, or the fixed machine gun, I should say. So yeah, there's just a lot of targets here, and did I mark those guys to kill? Yeah, I think I killed those guys. No, it looks like I'm trying to cancel out of it or something. I almost got detected right there, and then I got this because I was out of range. I was trying to move the drone too far, so I just collected it, and I'm going to have to either move forward and activate it again, or just not even use it.
Drone deployed.
So there's like 5 or 6 enemies here. So, oh, I did kill somebody. There's a body right there. Okay, so I took out that target right there. No one's ever gonna find him. In camouflage mode now, I'm just creeping up here, and I think I do take out a majority of these targets, unless I'm confusing it with the next clip where I did that and killed almost all of them in stealth, but then I got into a gunfight and I died. So this can kind of be hard to manage, especially if you've got enemies that are just simply too far away from you. So the guy going into the barn over to the right, I don't think he ever came out, so I had a difficult time here. And I may have just given up on the drone and just started taking out isolated enemies. Yeah, I took that guy out on the top because his body won't be seen by anybody. Now there's 2 guys over here. Or 3 guys rather. Oh, there's the guy in the barn. He's on the top floor now. I was trying to mark these targets, and even though it doesn't work perfectly, it works well enough so that it's not too irritating. But I got that white screen of death right there a lot. And what happened there? I don't know what happened. I might have pressed the R2 button on accident and had that guy kill the soldier, my squad mate that was targeting that guy. I might have just killed him. And it's okay. I think as long as you kill the majority of the enemies, just like in The Last of Us, kill the majority of the enemies, and if you do get seen, you can manage the situation with combat, where melee or... Well, not melee in this game, but melee to a limited degree, I guess. So there is no checkpoint, and if you die anywhere around here, you're going to be sent quite a ways back.
Cover, I'm moving.
And it's like that for 2 encounters in this chapter. But it's not that bad as long as you know what the stakes are in each segmented part of this chapter, and all the chapters really.
Drone up.
And I've also seen some. I think I've seen some players or in the trailer. They're from the prone position. They're like rolling very fast, and I was trying to figure out how to do that, but I never did. So if anyone knows how to do that, I'd be appreciative. Although by the time you tell me, I'll probably have done this guide, finished it, and have moved on. But that's the thing. People are always leaving comments on videos, and that's good because. You come along, someone comes along 6 months or a year later, they see a comment that really helps them. That's what happens to me all the time. You know, if the video doesn't tell me, usually somebody has said what the correct thing is in the video, or the comments rather, or they've said something else that's maybe not relevant but sure as hell helpful. And that's cool. I can't tell you how many like great tips I've just randomly stumbled upon just looking through the comments, not even of my own videos, just regular videos. So I'm gonna resupply right here, and still don't have a checkpoint, but there's not many other enemies to kill. Excuse me for stuttering like a retard. But it looks like I was trying to bypass that area, maybe go around the barn, but it looks like that barn has its perimeter all the way across this land right here. So at least this part of its perimeter. So my teammates looks like they were grouping up, so I needed to go over to them. But I know that this is not clear yet, because I've done this section a lot, and I know there's more enemies over to the right. And what I do is I go up here to the top floor, but it might be too risky for what you want to do though, because when you go into this area, you'll hear some Russians speaking. That turret we will be going on once we get a checkpoint, but it's way too risky to use it now. But when okay, so listen here. I wanted to leave that where I wasn't speaking over, just so you can hear that. You could hear the voices, even though the decibel level is low on that track that I put from that file. You could still hear it. So this, if it's the same situation every time, with just that one dude being up here when you come out, that would be a safe strategy, because you just have to deal with him. You surprise him anyway. You probably stealth kill him, but I didn't do it because I think I was just running. Also, another tip that is probably obvious to a lot of people who play these types of games, but if you have a suppressed weapon on, it deals less damage to the enemies. Even though the suppressed sniper rifle takes them out in one shot, like if you're using the Scorpion with a suppressor on it. But these enemies still fall pretty fast regardless. But that is one of the tips it said in the loading screen. So this is clear right here, and we're going to get ourselves a nice little checkpoint. I should have just done a 180 up there, because what I ended up doing was going down here, and you never see me searching for stuff because it's just not even necessary. Completely unnecessary. I mean, I don't think there's any collectibles in this game, and even if there were, I would not be interested in getting them. But it's just one of those very bland games with just real sterile environments, but I mean they're gorgeous at times. Some are a little blander than others, but it's not The Last of Us. I mean, we were not looking around in every corner to get stuff because it's just not necessary. So we're looking for General Doe. I was gonna say, yeah, I don't know what his name is, but you do have a checkpoint here, so it's there's no real risk if you want to get on that turret, because when you're behind it, you have a shield. You're shielded here. In this perspective right here, pretty shielded. I think if you obviously it can be clipped from the side, but we're trying to take out that tank and targets. So you see how I zoomed out right there? That was not holding. Excuse me, the L1 button. So I think you have cover regardless, but I think this mode right here is giving you a false sense that you have more cover than you actually do. But it's still decent cover. I mean, I only died like once over here. So you see in all this fog and not fog. What the fuck am I talking about? But all the dust and everything. I was shooting over here thinking that the truck was here, but then I noticed that it was over there all of a sudden, and I didn't. I should have been looking at that orange circle. But that thing's destroyed. Now I think there's a couple more targets to kill across the way. And we're going to be going into that next area where I shot that guy.
Target down. We broke him. Let's roll him up.
And then we have another section that I think I'm going to have to speed up because
Hostile down.
we're just loitering, standing in one place, waiting for tankers to move.
Nailed one.
So it's all cleared. There's a weapon box. Don't need to get anything. I pretty much stick to what I like. You know, I just get the thing one time, and then just have my weapons for the duration of the level. Pretty much the things that I prefer: sniper rifle, and the Scorpion, or some kind of a gun that shoots very rapidly, and sensor grenades and frag grenades. That's what I always like to have. I mean, there's EMPs, there's smoke grenades, incendiary grenades, but I think the one thing that I just really cannot do without are the sensor grenades. So I always like to carry those, and it's always handy to have frags too. So that's pretty much all I ever have. You know, I mean, you only get 2 choices, but you can select other things other than what I mentioned. So there was one clip there was one point where I killed like almost all of these guys, and then I got overrun and no checkpoint, so I had to start way back there where the tankers are. Fortunately, you don't have to do that loading. Just waiting there for the game to load, waiting for the tanker to move out of the way. So that does kind of reinforce what I thought about those things being loading times, being masked though as part of the game. And that's all good. It's a clever way of doing it.
Careful. There's a mounted MG here.
And I think without those sections, it really wouldn't have the kind of balance that it needs. You know, the little highs and lows, the peaks and valleys.
Where is he? 3 o'clock. Next to the car.
So there's a lot of these guys over here. And there's one guy down here who has his back to you.
Add 1 hostile. Light machine gun.
He's a very easy target over here, but how that dead body was found, I don't know. I mean, it'll probably be really obvious when I rewatch this to make sure the video turned out alright. I mean, there just comes a point where it says dead body found. What's new? Because it happens so frequently. So there's no checkpoint here. But if you want to, try to strive to do your best, take out all these guys with stealth, you can. But I have the height advantage now, and I'm tossing frag grenades. And I try to aim them as best as I can, try to find clusters of enemies. I mean, we all know how these mechanics work by now. But if it wasn't for Gears of War, I don't think I would even know how to play these types of games, because I watched the IGN review of Gears of War, the original Gears of War, and it was evident just how groundbreaking that game was. And I bought it, and it kicked my ass on hardcore mode, because it seemed like there was a missing difficulty from casual to hardcore, and then you would unlock insane. And there were more tiers of difficulty in Gears 2 and 3, but that particular game, I actually gave up on it. This was back before I even started to be a hardcore gamer, so to speak. That term is rather ambiguous, but then I really got into Gears of War, and I still really enjoy Gears of War. It was the game that ushered me into this type of a genre where you're in third-person mode and you're basing your strategies. You're trying to keep yourself alive, I should say, by going into cover. And I've heard people say that this genre is getting old and stuff, but it's newer than the first-person shooting genre, that's for sure. So, and that genre is still going strong. Okay, so the odd thing is that you get a checkpoint over here, but I mean, I shouldn't say it's odd, but there's a nice throw by me. You'll get a checkpoint somewhere up here, and it'll have the little disc icon, the floppy disk icon in the bottom left, it'll appear in a moment. We're going to be coming back to this area. We're going to be coming the opposite way, so you don't want to have destroyed those incendiary canisters. I don't know if they repopulate on the map, but they'll come in handy when we jump on this turret in the bus, you know, coming back down this road. Because we're going to go down the road and then we're just going to do a 180 over here. And here, I didn't know that there was no enemies, but you can never know when you're playing it. And you just don't want to take unnecessary risks while you're playing it either, because you know, no one wants to die and have to load again. But gonna resupply in here, and this is the checkpoint area, so you will get the checkpoint. And it's a pretty tough part because everybody keeps hopping on that turret, and you can't vault over this piece right here. So the only real option is to, you know, toss frags, kill everybody with sniper rounds, or go to the other side of the street if you want to, but there's not a real advantage, and I think you might have more coverage over here as far as cover. There's a flash grenade. I don't really know what to think about those. I think it's a little extreme. It should give your visibility back a little bit quicker than that, but for this game, it doesn't. It's not a big. It's not something that hinders the game. If it was Gears of War or Spec Ops: The Line, then it would be completely the wrong way to have gone. But for this game, it's okay, I think. So you see how a lot of the targets are just jumping onto that turret. And I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going to chance it. But it's not the you know, I wish I could have a little bit more visibility. So if you do need that, you might want to go to the other side of the street, or just find a, you know, a comfortable spot for yourself. I think I am actually gonna. I do get impatient somewhere. Those guys just spawned right up there outside the house, and then they disappeared as quickly as they appeared. So, you see where it says destroy up in the sky? There's something down the road, spoiler alert, that we're going to need to plant some C4 on. It's some kind of military thing. But pretty bad cover on this side of the fence right there, so definitely needed to get off that because it wasn't helping me at all. It probably would have been one of those things that it's just too finicky. So what I'm going to do instead is just go on top of the roof. But I was wary of going up there because I didn't know if there was sufficient cover. But there actually is. There's fine cover. However, there are sandbags up there that the enemies might be able to shoot through, and I don't know exactly how it works. I think it has to be strong suppressive fire that gets you killed behind cover. I mean, we could shoot enemies through fences and things like that, but I have been killed many times by, well, I shouldn't say many times, but I've been killed a couple times hiding behind sandbags or even concrete sometimes.
Scratch one. Camel's active.
So that area is clear. Now we're going to go down and plant the C4 on that tank down there that's camouflaged with that net.
Got eyes on target.
Or whatever. I'm not really sure what it is. It's just something that we need to take down before we move on. So this was obviously my first time in this area, so I didn't know I needed to go up the ladder so quickly, but got the hang of it. So plant the C4 there. We're going to get a checkpoint. It gives you, I think, 5 seconds to get out of the way. But see, it's not even counting down quite. I mean, it took a while to start counting down, and the blast radius is not so extreme that you're going to have a problem with it. So resupply here if you need to, and we're gonna get a cutscene, or not a cutscene, but that checkpoint that I mentioned. So wrong way. There we go. Need to go up the right way, and I accidentally threw a frag grenade over here. I did not mean to do this. But just meet up with your team up here. We're going to get a checkpoint, and another battle is going to be waged. Alright, now we're making our way back up the street, but what I advised 10-15 minutes ago, I can't remember when it was on this video, but because I had to come back to this video, but do not get on the turret. There's no cover, and you're just going to get destroyed so quickly that you're going to get annoyed because the loading screens. Very problematic loading screens, but we're going to be able to take out that tank via the explosion of the frag grenades plus the incendiary barrels right there. I need to pop my ears. Okay. This part, just stay away from grenades. There's a couple bullshit parts in this game, or this level, excuse me. They're going to be coming up. Like the last one, it's not that bad. It's just kind of ridiculous. The situation, what's in store for the player. But I just realized this video is almost 50 minutes long, so this has got to be the longest chapter. Hopefully the final 3 chapters after this will be a little shorter. But pretty much I always have long files, or I mean, I like to have self-contained. I like to have my, the chapters. I like them to be self-contained videos, not mission, whatever. This is what, mission 9. I don't like to have like mission 9, part 1, part 2, part 3. I don't like to do that whatsoever. Somebody was telling me to that the long files get problems with YouTube and not being able to monetize them, but I think it's any problem files with YouTube. YouTube is just so bad. Anyway, this next section, you have to do a lot of stuff, and there's no checkpoint anywhere. Yeah, it's this part. This part's kind of bullshit because you could try to do your best over here, and if you want to, try it, but it doesn't really matter how well you succeed when you have one part coming up that is it's like you can get killed instantly by when we're breaching the door and we're charging into a room that has an enemy like waiting for us. And sometimes what happens is, not only did I get a really horrible glitch over here, and I'll tell you where it was when I get there, but we're going to be charging into a room, and the camera can screw with you a little bit. Also, the guy that helps you bust down the door, he can get in the way, and you'll end up trying to shoot the normal target, and then you're not firing because the reticle is over the other teammate. But right here, I'm going to go up to the fence, and normally just my proximity to this area will cause this guy to spawn. Did he spawn? Yeah, he spawned. I think he spawned. No, was this to take that they didn't spawn? But normally if you go up to that fence, you could take out the gunner that's standing on the patio up there. And I guess he never spawned. I don't know what happened that time. But okay, so once you clear all these enemies, the only way to progress is through this house, and where it says breach. So adjusting the camera seems to have negative repercussions, because the camera wants to settle where it's going to settle, and hopefully it doesn't settle anywhere that's going to obstruct your shot here. So see this? Where is he? Yeah, see how that guy could really shoot you up so fast. I died here several times trying to get in the room. I also died sometimes trying to go into this next room. Because see all these guys in red here? Sometimes there will already be one of those guys in that area where I'm looking at right now. He hides behind those boxes over there. That's why I was shooting over there. One time, see that door right there that I'm aiming at? Never go out that door. Because I got into this loop glitch where my character kept walking. Here's the bastard right there, hiding behind there. So he used frag grenades. But look what happened here. He threw some frag grenades at me. I almost died. I threw like 3 frag grenades over here. But if you go through that door right there, do it at your own risk, because I went into like this loop where I kept walking and walking and walking on thin air, and it wouldn't let me go back onto the normal environment. And all my teammates cleared up the situation, and it's one of those cruel ironies that I was caught in a glitch and I couldn't move, I couldn't progress, I had to restart the checkpoint. That's the first and only time that's happened, though, so that's a little reassuring, I guess. It should never happen, but you know, no game's perfect. So you know, there's no checkpoint anywhere, so if you really want to, you could just not even engage these enemies here. Your teammates will, I'm pretty much certain your teammates will clear these guys up, because I was caught in a glitch around the corner, and I was not participating in the glitch because I could do nothing. No button would work, and they all cleared it up. But see, just really watch out, because you don't want to have to start this whole part over again. It's really ridiculous.
We're clear.
And this has been a really fun chapter. I like this chapter, to be honest. Okay, so now it looks like we've neutralized the threat for the time being. Now we're going to plant some C4 on this thing. So there might not be a checkpoint here either if you don't get out of the way quickly enough. Okay, what are we doing now? Is this the graveyard sequence? It might be. Got a trophy there. Don't know what that means. But I did have to speed this part up because it was another one of those long, you know, you're doing absolutely nothing, standing on one knee over here. And this has got to be loading related. That's why I'm speeding this up. Yeah, we're coming up on the sniper rifle / graveyard sequence, and it's cool. I mean, all you got to do is hide behind the gravestones or in any pieces of rock. Just don't mess with the sniper rifle, guys. In The Last of Us, I'm sure anyone who's played that game is very familiar with the thug who was in The Last of Us shooting at us with a sniper rifle, and that was one of the most hilarious. That was a really challenging section, but for me, it was like one of the most hilarious sequences in that game, because the guy was such a taunter. You know, he'd say, "Where you going, motherfucker? I see you, bitch. What the fuck do you think you're doing? Oh, you going over there now, huh?" And he was just so aware of you, and man. But that was challenging, to say the least. Funny to say the most. But I'm going to have to render this file in a very low quality. What I've had to do, you might have seen, even though today I wasn't able to upload any files, it's because if I'm ever capturing footage like this, I can't be rendering stuff in the background for games that are it just depends on the game. If it's like 60 frames per second game or something, I have I have a computer that I paid way too much. Well, I didn't pay too. I don't know if I paid too much for it. It's just that it was very expensive, and I just wanted something that I could have for a lot of years. So I pretty much maxed the specs out on it as much as I could. It's only a few years old. And what happens when I record while I'm rendering stuff in the background is I get lag while I'm playing. That's the only time I ever get lag. I play. I have all my stuff hooked up to my computer, so I don't play on a TV or anything like that. It's just more comfortable for me to sit at my desk and use my computer monitor.
Roger.
So just. Don't press your luck over here. Just really don't, because one really accurate hit from a sniper rifle guy will just kill you. So there's no reason trying to press your luck. So that extraction point's looming over the distance, but we're gonna have to do a few things to get there. First of all. what I was saying about the quality was for Sony Vegas files, there's a setting called Quality VBR, and that's the highest quality setting you could put for video on. And the 100, because you could, there's a slider to manipulate or control or set whatever quality you want for the video for quality VBR, and 100% makes the file so enormous that uploading it would take so very, very long. And I discovered that just dragging the slider to 90% from 100% cut the file size in half. And so for some of these I've had to put the quality to 75%. And I hope that it hasn't been unwatchable for you guys, but like this will probably have to be thrown into 75% quality. And I would never do that for Ninja Gaiden. That's the thing, or God of War, just because I care less about this game, and that's just the harsh reality of it. I'm really looking forward to concluding the game, but I like this game and I enjoy it, but sometimes you just need to get your files up, and put them on YouTube quickly. But with Ninja Gaiden, I always use 90% quality. That's the best compromise I've found. And I haven't been using 60 frames a second anymore. It doubles the file size, and you really can't see it with the naked eye on YouTube. If I uploaded a 60 frames per second file versus a 30 frames per second file, maybe a very, very discerning eye could tell the difference, but I honestly don't even think I could. So, that's just how it goes, I guess. 30 frames is pretty good. I mean, I capture the native footage in 120 frames per second, so I'm working with a very good high quality source file. That's the raw footage of the file. So, but anyway, what are we doing here? We're coming up on the completion of this level. This part's not too hard. I'm shooting through sandbags here. You see that? Just shoot the guys with the sandbags. Again, that's cool if I'm doing it to them, but I don't like it. I mean, if I'm behind a sandbag, I sure as shit hope that they're not trying to do that on me. But it's just a game anyway, and we're probably not going to be in many of those scenarios coming up. But as much as I kind of regret doing a game like this, it is satisfying to complete a project and have everything in a nice playlist for people to look at. Here's some more sped up footage because we of course had to linger here in the water and just have a regrouping. Okay, so the fast forward footage is done with. Sorry about that. And we're going up the bank right now. And we're taking out some targets here. Again, I don't think any part in this chapter is required that we don't alert people, but yeah, I think this was one of the long fights again.
Got another one here. Where is he?
And
Right next to the truck.
a fight that takes me like 7 or 8 minutes might only take somebody else half that time. Because a lot of these fights, I just go up to them and I just win. But I have to familiarize myself with, what's going on. I have to see where people are located. And, sometimes I just don't even practice them. But that should give you faith if you're going for getting your trophy on elite difficulty. Because normally when I do a guide, I will have already beaten the game, because a lot of games they require you to unlock the hardest difficulty, which is kind of be annoying. What I wanted to do is I wanted to play survivor mode right away with The Last of Us because it takes a long time to beat a game, and I don't know. Like, I was kind of relieved when I saw that Elite difficulty was the hardest available already, like from the start on this game, because it doesn't require, you know, it doesn't demand 2 playthroughs. 1 is fine for Elite difficulty. And you know, I've never played a Tom Clancy game. It's my first time, and I'm leaving with a positive impression of this game. It's really good quality. I mean, this level looks goddamn gorgeous, but maybe they were harder before. I don't know if they've toned down the difficulty a little bit, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where it just works so well. It's hard to it's hard to pick at it too much.
Look out, Fred! Cover, I'm moving! Enemy turret! Where is he?
So you can even hide behind these haystacks here. You could shoot enemies through haystacks. Again, I can't see anybody, so I need to deploy those sensor grenades.
Target down!
So what I want to do is finish up the next 2 chapters tomorrow, and then on Thursday finish the final one, or some variation of those 3. Get everything done by maybe as late as Friday, and then start my new campaign on Master Ninja, on Ninja Gaiden 2 by Saturday.
They're on the move.
Because Saturdays, well, they've lately become special to me because I listen to I've listened to an opera program on the public radio station for the past. Well, I started listening to it when I was in college, around 1999. So I've been listening to it for a long time, and there were a few years where I stopped listening to it. But I know, you know, opera, people just think, oh, that guy's gay or something like that, but I'm not gay, and I don't think a lot of people who listen to that, they're intellectuals like I am. But when I say I'm an intellectual, I don't mean that I'm a snob or I'm better than you. I'm just saying that intellectuals are people who concern themselves with ideas and thoughts, and, you know, think instead of just being some white trash asshole like the kind of people we have that live behind us. Just yell at their kids, brag about beating their wives, because literally, I've heard these people say that kind of shit, you know, bragging about being in jail, and those people, they're not educated and they're not intellectuals, and it's just sad actually, because child abuse and stuff like that. But anyway, oh yeah, check this out. Talk about abuse. I curb stomped that bitch right there. My motherfucker. Man, I love curb stomping guys in Gears of War. So great. But okay, so I destroyed that one turret, and then, oh yeah, the reason I ran back in the first place is I think they dropped a smoke bomb. Oh, and a couple videos back I was asking people if buying the digital copy of Ninja Gaiden 2 would like screw up what I already have existing with my save data. But what happened is I just bit the bullet and bought the digital copy for $29.99 actually, $30. But it was a good investment because nothing actually happened. It was a quick download, and I already have one version of that game installed on my hard drive, but it doesn't require you, like a game like Ninja Gaiden 2, you don't have to install it because I wasn't getting any lag or anything while playing it, and the load times are the same, so there's no real reason to load it, to have it installed. And when I because now I have, when I go to my games on Xbox, I have Ninja Gaiden 2. There's actually two things where it says Ninja Gaiden 2, like 2 files or whatever you want to call it. And when I click on the one that has my install data, it says you have to install the disc or put the disc in because it's an install game. But now I have the other Ninja Gaiden program where I just click on it and it just takes me to the game right away. And it already has like all my achievements all ready, and it knows that I've already cleared Master Ninja, so I could just start a new campaign. Nothing bad happened, so I just wanted to let everyone know. And now I could actually place my tower vertically, and possibly won't have that game freeze on me so often. Like 2 or 3 times a day it was freezing on me. It's only a year-old Xbox that's very well cared for. By the way, here I'm just shooting the turret. Very well cared for, and the disc is, I bought it in brand new condition, and it has no marks on it whatsoever. So my new campaign, I'll be playing on the digital. I'll be playing via the digital copy and just saving everything to my hard drive. Because you can't secure a disc. If you have a disc in your Xbox, I've tried to secure it while placing it vertically, and my disc got destroyed. I mean, you can't even move the Xbox without a disc getting destroyed. But I also got Ninja Gaiden 1 in the mail today, so it's backwards compatible, so I could play it on my 360. So when you jump down here, you want to target this guy. Okay, so we're coming up on the final part of the game, or the level. So take that guy out, and we're gonna get a checkpoint after all this shit's done. But for now, make sure you stock up on supplies here, and you might. Oh no, you probably can't adjust it, but we're gonna take out a couple of guys, and then a tank's gonna show up.
That's 2 targets.
So I'm gonna target 3 guys for my teammates, and then take this other guy out. And we're gonna have a tank that comes out.
Ready. Kill confirmed. Just found the kill.
And when I was doing this, I thought it might be really helpful to have smoke bombs for this part, but I've never even used them. And in all honesty, it only took me like the first time I did this section, I got right to where it says press square, but I was already dying at that point, so I couldn't press it. And then it took me like 3 more deaths, and then I got it on my fourth one. So once the road's clear over here, make sure you sprint. Just sprint all the way over there, and if you're in danger, just go behind the cover. So you're gonna get a checkpoint right over here. It's gonna be a rough edit, for which I apologize. And you just have to survive this. And there's gonna be a timer for a minute to transpire, and then you'll be able to do the airstrike. And it's kind of sadistic on the part of the game, but the thing you need to know here is that anybody who rushes you, just instantly kill them. And whenever the tank comes, you see that upside down orange triangle, get to the opposite side of that, just so it can't hit you with any concussive blast. But make sure whenever you're exposed on this side, make sure you immediately target whoever you can see, like any guys on the balcony, target them. Like, not these guys, because I was just... Oh yeah, also delegate responsibility to your squad mates. That really helps, seriously helps out. But like this spot right here, I was safe against the tank, but I was still exposed on the other side. So you got to keep moving in cover. But the most important thing is to stay in cover. So see how I took that guy out? He was behind cover. And now here's the countdown. It's already begun. 15 seconds have elapsed, and all you need to do is survive. Like, here is a guy that rushed me right here, and I was regretting having wasted all my frag grenades. But I'm just staying behind cover. You might want to stay in this spot. It's a pretty good spot. And I'm just see that guy? Shot him through the rocks on top, and it's kind of just a lot of pressure on the player, because not only do you have to wait a minute, but you have to wait for the everything to start prior to the minute, and there's even a part after when the time goes down that it wouldn't even let me press the square button. So just hold the fort down and don't die. And you see, it should have had the square button prompt like 5 seconds ago, but direct the right analog stick over to the tank, and then you will have cleared the level, and I'll see you in Chapter 10.